I've had some pretty unbelievable manifestation experiences in my life. Stories that feel like they belong in a movie, like The Secret, where you make a wish, rub the magic lamp, and then watch in awe as things start happening. And believe me, I wasn't always someone who was into spirituality, religion, or even the idea that the mind could influence reality. To be honest, I had never even heard of quantum physics until one day, while scrolling on my phone in my dorm room, trying to crack the code to the universe or something. But what happened next was truly incredible. I suspended my disbelief, dived deep into some thought experiments, and decided to test whether I could really attract things into my life. And trust me, some seriously cool stuff happened. In this post, I want to share a couple of those wild manifestation stories and give you a few techniques that you can start using to bring amazing things into your own life. So if you're ready to dive in, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and leave a comment letting me know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to hear your story. Now, let's jump into the first story. It's about how I met Jack Canfield, the creator of Chicken Soup for the Soul. You know, the man who sold over 500 million copies of his books. At the time, I was 20 years old, just out of college. I had backpacked around the world, written a travel book that I was about to self-publish, and was trying to make it as an author. I was a huge fan of Jack's work, and his success inspired me to push forward. But I had a problem. All the traditional publishers I approached had turned me down. So I decided to self-publish, even though everyone around me said it was a terrible idea. The road ahead seemed impossible. I didn't know anyone in the industry, and I had no clue how to sell books. In my quest for answers, I bought Jack Canfield's program Dare to Win, an audio course where he shared his strategies for success. One of the exercises in the program was to make a list of 101 things you want to create or attract in your life. At number 4 on my list, I wrote, meet, become friends with, and get an endorsement from Jack Canfield. Now, I had no idea how that was going to happen. I didn't know Jack, and I was just this young guy trying to get my book on a shelf somewhere. But I was committed to making it work. Fast forward to a few months later. I had a speaking coach who happened to know Jack. She told me Jack was going to be speaking at an event in Los Angeles. I was hesitant at first because it was such a big event with thousands of people, and there was no way I was going to get close enough to meet him. But something inside me said, just go for it. So I bought a ticket. When I arrived at the event, I immediately felt overwhelmed. The place was huge, and my seat was way up at the top. I figured there was no chance I would get to meet Jack in person. But after hours of Jack emceeing this massive event, he announced that there would be a dinner break. I saw my opportunity and, without thinking twice, rushed from the top to the ballroom floor, hoping I could catch a glimpse of him. I was in this zone, feeling like I had nothing to lose, wearing my best thrifted blazer, $7 from the local store, and ready for anything. As the break unfolded, I found myself standing in the autograph line with hundreds of others, feeling like this was my last chance. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I had this undeniable feeling that somehow I would get the chance to meet him. What happened next was beyond incredible. But the bottom line is that by keeping an open mind, suspending my disbelief, and taking inspired action, I manifested the very thing I put on my list months before. This story isn't just about meeting someone I admired. It's about learning that the universe has a way of delivering on your desires, even when it seems impossible. Now, think about your own life. What would happen if you dared to believe in the impossible? What could you attract into your world if you opened your mind to possibilities beyond what you can see right now? Just like me, you can begin to bring incredible things into your life by trusting the process and staying open to the magic that's already there. In the next part of this post, I'll share more techniques on how you can begin to manifest some really cool things into your own life. Stay tuned. It was a moment I'll never forget. I approached Jack Canfield and introduced myself, saying, "Hi, I'm Jake Ducey. I wrote this book, and you inspired me to write it." I shared with him how much his work had impacted my life. He was standing at the table, waiting for dinner, and I was so caught up in the excitement that I didn't even notice the empty seat next to him. The waiter arrived and set the food down, and just before I could excuse myself from the conversation, Jack looked at me and asked, "Are you going to eat that?" pointing to the empty seat. At first, I was taken aback, but then I realized he was inviting me to join him. So I sat down, and it turned out his wife and my mom had gone to high school together. From there, we talked for a while, and that connection eventually led to Jack writing the foreword for my second book. Later, I ended up selling over 10,000 copies of my self-published book out of the trunk of my car, which led to a publishing deal with Penguin Random House, one of the biggest publishing companies in the world. I was just 22, and Jack Canfield, the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, was part of my journey. Talk about a manifestation story. But the story doesn't end there. Another dream I had was to be mentored by Bob Proctor. He's one of my favorite speakers and a major influence on my understanding of the subconscious mind. I started practicing hypnosis and used my free success hypnosis, which I always talk about in my videos, to reprogram my beliefs and align myself with success. This is a tool I still use, and I always recommend it to others who want to rewire their minds to attract the life they desire. Now, here's where the magic of manifestation kicks in again. After connecting with Jack Canfield and getting my book deal with Penguin Random House, I found out that my division, Penguin Tarcher, also represented Bob Proctor. Even more astonishing, my literary agent, William Gladstone, was the one who represented Bob Proctor. It was all happening in perfect alignment. I was guided by these synchronicities, and soon enough, I was able to get an interview with Bob Proctor. It was a brief 20-minute conversation, but it felt like a lifetime of learning packed into those moments. Bob was someone I had studied intensely, especially his teachings on wealth consciousness from Think and Grow Rich. One of Bob's favorite stories from that book is when Andrew Carnegie tasked Napoleon Hill with writing a book that would inspire the world. At the time, Carnegie was the richest man in the world, and he told Hill, "I will not only equal your accomplishments, but I will surpass them." That statement stuck with me because it shows the immense power of a vision, one that's backed by faith and unwavering commitment. So, let this story be a reminder. When you align your thoughts, actions, and intentions with what you truly want, the universe will conspire to help you. Just like I attracted those connections and opportunities, you can manifest the desires of your heart, too. Keep believing in your dreams and trust that the right doors will open when the time is right. Let me share with you an incredible moment from my journey. I was just 21 years old, full of ambition and excitement, when I had the chance to do an interview with the legendary Bob Proctor. I was nervous but determined, and after the interview, I looked at Bob and said, "I will not only match your accomplishments, but I will surpass you." I said it with such confidence. Though deep down I wasn't sure how it would happen, but Bob just laughed, thought it was hilarious, and even gave me his cell phone number. That moment marked the beginning of an extraordinary relationship with Bob, who later became one of the most influential friends I've had in my life. I could tell you dozens of manifestation stories, each one more unbelievable than the last. But the key takeaway here is this. If you want to change your life, you must start by programming your mind. I always say, brainwash yourself before the world does it to you. And that's why I'm sharing with you my free success hypnosis. You have to be the one to reshape your mindset, rather than letting outside influences dictate your reality. This hypnosis is designed to help you brainwash yourself with positive, powerful thoughts and align your energy with your goals. It wasn't long ago that I published my first book. It wasn't easy, but I kept imagining my books being translated into other languages, reaching people across the globe. It seemed like an impossible dream at the time, but through persistence, vision, and belief, I made it happen. Today, my book is published in South Korea and has reached far beyond what I initially thought possible. The lesson here is simple. Suspend your disbelief. Just like Jack Canfield's Dare to Win program taught me, sometimes you don't need to know exactly how it will happen, but you do need to have the courage to take action, believe in yourself, and embrace new possibilities. The mind is a powerful tool. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. So, I challenge you to do the same. Start putting new pictures in your mind. Envision yourself as the person you want to become. Create a new reality in your life, and then take the steps to make it happen. Don't let doubt stop you from pursuing your dreams. Let me know in the comments if you're ready to create your own reality. If you're ready to suspend disbelief and start manifesting your goals, type "I create my reality" below. And remember, to truly make those dreams a reality, be sure to grab my free success hypnosis to start rewiring your mind today.